kind of used to the same standard. Like, you bet 66% pot. I've dealt with 66% pot how many times?
Yeah,
but when someone's betting 1.4 pot, you're like, whoa.
With their entire range.
Whoa, you know?
Yeah, totally. Right? Yeah. When they're leading into you as the pre-flop raiser with their entire range, overbetting. Like, when have you ever seen that?
Correct.
So this will be fun.
So Bart wakes up with ace king of diamonds from the hijack, raises it up to 175. James on the button. Calls, and the flop is ace jack 3. Bet of 325 from Bart. Call by James. James does have a backdoor flush draw with his 9 of clubs. Turn is a 5. Bart's going to keep going for value here.
And James is pretty sticky too. Like he's not the kind of guy who's going to fold too often on the flop return.
500.
Like, I'd be very surprised if he didn't even think about folding there.
Half-size pot bet for Bart. And I think when you flop top pair here, you have to go for 2 anyways. So I don't mind James going for 2.
Yeah, and against James, who's probably never going to fold an ace with a weak kicker, you know, you probably want to bet a little bit more to get value out of him. But that's just my first instinct.
So if I'm Bart, I'm thinking James has something like ace 10, maybe ace 9, ace 8. Probably not as good as ace queen because James would have thought about 3-betting pre-flop, but he could have ace queen. So sizes it up about half a pot size bet.
It's a good bet sizing there.
Yeah, it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he probably bets like 75% pot, James probably kicks it in real quick.
Mm-hmm. All right, good fold, James.
And I think like that's just standard. Like
any playable hand and just try to outflop you and bust you. Like that's his main strategy. It always has been. It's just to like sit deep, play hands in position, and bust you.
Do you remember what the old host from the bike was? His name was Lee, right? Well, we'll get to that after this time. We have a raise from David from Spain.
Check.
Seat 1, pocket queens, 125.
Check.
Bart defends his big blind with ace 5 off. Flop to open and straight for Bart. Goes check, check on the flop. Turn 4.
That's an interesting flop check, but I like it.
I really like it too.
Yeah.
Because he's basically saying, I'm going to call the turn in the river no matter what you bet.
Call.
So he's never getting blown off his overpair on that because that board hits the big blind range so hard.
Yep.
So I really like it. That's a pretty bad card for David, but let's see if he'll still sniff this out and still call, since his plan was to call turn and river here.
Yeah, Bart's thinking like, can I go for thin value here? Because I don't think he's definitely not bluffing. Yeah, he bet 300 into 6.
And these Spanish kids are so good. They're just they already have their balanced check back range. You know, whereas I guaranteed if he had 9-10 with a gutter ball, he's gonna bet. But since his queens are so strong, if he gets check raised on that board and gets barreled, it's almost a nightmare.
Yeah, he knows that Bart's flat calling range in the big like medium strength hands, or he's checking with air. You know what I mean?
I think Barry can be very balanced. You've seen him in the heads up.
Yeah.
Stuff
Okay.
that he can be balanced.
Yeah. So then he played it well.
Brett McCall says bet folding there is weird. What happened?
He said Barry equals dead money.
Oh no, that's not true. Barry's legit. If you don't believe me, go back to when when Doug Polk played him heads up. He beat Doug Polk heads up, best Nolan player in the world.
That's awesome.
Natty Wood said Barry destroyed Dougie Salbes. It's true.
I'll tell you, man, that's good for poker when Barry Malibu Woods beats Doug Polk.
The best player, WCG writer.
It's so great.
So ace king, Bart raises it up. Andy comes along. So does Barry.
300.
Bart taking a stab with the best hand here. Ace king, gut shot.
No, Barry has the best hand with the top pair.
Heads up.
Oh, Barry turned top pair. Okay, I didn't see Barry's queen 4.
And then Bart gets there.
Easy for Mr. Hanson.
Let's see the bet sizing Bart takes here. Bart's pretty master value better, thin value better. Wow.
How much did he bet? 500. Yeah, I was going to say he should bet about 40% pot. So the interesting thing in that
the
hand.
The snap fold with Barry is interesting.
Well, the straights got their king jack.
Yeah.
There was no flush draws. The interesting thing about the hand is that Andy opened with 5-4. And Bart just flatted in position with his ace king. He did not 3-bet it pre-flop.
That is interesting,
right?
I mean,
And yeah, like you said, a snap fold though. That's the crazy thing though.
yeah, I mean, a lot of times in live poker, people, even good players, will play ace king passively in certain spots, and I think it's fine. You know, I think sometimes not putting a 4-bet in with ace king, or not 3-betting when somebody opens under the gun and you're under the gun too. You know what I mean? You can kind of like keep their range super wide. You know, flatting 3-bets on the button from the big blind with ace king. You know, there's a lot of value and merit to like keeping the bad aces in someone's range in the pot. You know what I mean? Especially in a game like this.
I agree with you. And now, Andy raised up to 150 pocket fives. Bart with aces and Brian Kim with pocket kings. So we have Bart with the angels. Whoa.
My dude, Bart Hanson.
Re-raise.
And a cold 4-bet from Brian Kim. How deep are these guys? Brian is $60,000 deep, and Bart is about $12,000 deep. Bart is about 200 big blinds. This is going to get all in pre-flop. Bo has a surprise for you guys. If we see a big pot, I'm not sure if we are. You never know what could happen. Maybe somehow Brian gets away from this hand, but I don't think so.
So this is a pretty healthy 4-bet size, correct? I'm trying to walk.
It went 525. No, he 2.5'd it pretty much.
Pretty standard.
Standard, smallish.
Calls.
I love
Bart
the call.
calls in position. Oh, out of position actually. He called out of position.
I like this call.
So
Keeps all his bluffs in.
10,000 behind on 2.
awesome job by Brian putting both of them on here.
This is fun.
Queen 3-6, 2 diamonds. Bart with the backdoor flush draw, even though he doesn't need it. Is he worried that Brian might have queens here?
10,000.
Probably not.
Yeah, he's probably slightly, you know, it's definitely in a consideration, but he's not.
Check.
Oh, he's
Check.
Wow.
How good is Brian Kim?
Well, he probably knows that he can't get more than 2 streets of value, you know, and he's probably worried about queens himself.
Man, but he could have like a flush draw too. I don't know. That's such a good check. Brian's playing his hand like he has ace king. You know?
Yeah.
He wants his hand to look like ace king.
1,500.
1,500 from Bart.
Another half pot size bet. I don't think you see anything other than a call here. I like that Brian's taking his time.
Call.
Call by Brian Kim. Bart has.
See now, you see Bart getting a little squirmish because he's like, oh, okay, well, what does he have?
Bart has about a pot and a half size bet. Can Bart just rip this in here? There's only 3 combos of queens that beat him. Brian shouldn't have too many 6s in his range unless he has like 6-7 suited, which now there's not too many combos left. There's only like 1 combo, 6-7 of spades. So Bart probably feels very good here.
Yeah, I don't think ripping it in is the play because, you know, it doesn't look like it's a bluff, you know what I'm saying? So what are you getting value from? Only kings, really, or like ace queen.
That's half pot again, Bo.
Yeah, I think that's the play.
So
Just
crazy
kinda
how
standard.
you have, and it's a bet and a call. Here we go.
There we go. Bart Hanson.
3,100.
Shout out to
Of guys like Barry Woods and James and Israeli Ron, guys who have like a little bit of their own strategy. Harry, you know, you get those guys against all the, you know, the young guns, and that's your game.
True.
Right
I mean, you were in the booth when Iron destroyed Matt Berkey too.
Yeah, that's right.
Destroyed Matt Berkey. So we have a race to 150 from Barry. Under the gun, pocket queens. He has the ladies. Bart calls for a small blind with ace deuce spades. Armenian Mike from the hijack ace jack. Ace on the flop. 2 clubs.
Check.
Armenian Mike has a backdoor flush draw as well.
300.
This is kind of one of those spots where Bart's either going to win a small pot or he's going to kind of get out of there. Or is he going to lead here? Yeah, he's going to lead. Right.
Heads up.
So Bart bets 300 into 800.
No, Armenian Mike.
Oh, Mike did?
Yeah, and Bart just check call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm watching the action and then like.
Call.
Another bet of 300. And this will be a spot where Bart will check call, or it's going to go check chop. Check, check. No, I'm wrong. Bart's just going to lead?
He's trying to turn his hand into a bluff here.
Oh, yeah, he is.
yeah.
You're right.
Bet
Yeah,
10.50.
Wow.
I like it. Did he bet big?
So this is like his one time not betting half pot, huh?
Yeah, that's a good bet.
Wow. Good job. If you guys like what Bart just did, he has his own website, Crush Live Poker, crushlivepoker.com. He's the lead coach, owner of the site. That was pretty insane.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Like, Bart's really good post-flop.
And he's like, of course I want them all to play. It was Andy's idea, actually. This is like Andy's home court. He's played like every single 25-50 game, I think, that we've had in the last like year. So.
How long is this room? Anybody know?
He got like a lot for what he was convicted for. 15 years or some crazy thing.
Oh, that's
cool.
so that was a stipulation. Okay, so raise to 225 from Bart. It's gonna go heads up with James. James hits a pair, but Bart has a monster nut flush draw, 1 over,
Bet.
has a backdoor straight draw.
325.
Check call by James.
Call.
Another half-size pot bet from Bart Hanson. Turn is a 6. Does Bart keep barreling here?
Yeah, it's kind of a. It's not an automatic barrel, that's for sure.
Because you still can have the best hand with some ace highs.
Yeah,
So
and also against a guy like James, you know, like
800.
he's gonna lead a lot with his draws and made hands, you know. So, it's not your standard like spot. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely, like you just called it. Bo's been spot on all day. Bo has a lot of history with all these players, or at least a handful of them. Do you think Bart's going to go for it here?
I mean, if he thinks James will lay down a king, I think he will. And I think it'll be
Whoa.
pretty successful.
And Bart didn't even put out the bet yet, and James just mucked.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bart has played an A+ today. Well done. If you guys like how Bart's playing, crushlivepoker.com.
Next time, like, what if we bring a second phone that only has Instagram on it? And we show it to everybody. We have that phone at the table?
They always had the rabbit cards.
I never want to see the cards. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. The hand's over.
Keeps it in a TikTok.
I don't really care. It doesn't affect me either way. But I
Although
think-
if somebody wants to rabbit hunt, I'll do it for him.
have you noticed when an
You know what I
action
mean?
player asks what the turn of the river is, and I'm sitting by the 9 or the 1 seed, and I just grab it and throw it to him?
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to make them happy. They want to see the cards. I want to grab it before the dealer kills it. 'cause
totally.
Some dealers will kill it, and I just throw it to them. Not
It's
that I
also
care.
it's also a fun game to play and see if you can beat the dealer to the deck. You know what I mean? Because some of them get really tilted.
Oh man, we have a lot of good dealers in LA. We have a couple bad ones, I think, at the other casino that we usually play at. But
I like the dealers at the bike.
the dealers at the bike are the nuts, pretty much.
Yeah, they're friendliest. They're just solid.
I really would apologize to you.
Race to 175. 3-bet from Andy. Same hand from David. Barry trying to find a cold call with the Jack-10 off out of position. Can he do it? He kind of was mumbling some
Yeah.
stuff. His inner dialogue
Yeah.
was voiced out.
Learning from Crush Live Poker.
What's that?
Oh, so Andy 3-betted. So he wanted a cold call. Oh, I see. He
Oh.
just likes that hand.
Well, definitely, and plus he would, Andy would rather play against Barry than against David, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
965.
So it's just a kind of a quick bet fold.
So you could tell David's an online guy.
Yeah.
Somewhat of probably like a wizard in Spain, and probably plays on Poker Stars because all his decisions are made very quickly.
Yep. Yep.
And although he's stuck,
Raised 175.
So James limps with ace-6 suited. Andy isolates with jack-9 club in the cutoff. And I wonder if Bart's thinking about 4 betting here or 3 betting here. It'd be a good play if he does.
575.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah, and Bart 3 bets with 10-6. What was I saying earlier in the game? That sometimes Bart will play fun on these games. You know, he gets a little out of line these televised games.
James just cold called as well.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
This is going to be a fun hand.
when it goes 3-way, now you're not feeling too good, you know?
Yeah. Not at all. Especially when you have 10-6.
King
That's
9-5.
it's a good flop to bluff at. Andy flop middle pair with the backdoor flush draw. James whiffed.
Check.
I wonder if he's gonna bet what, like 900 or 1100?
I thought it was 7. Yeah.
7. Interesting.
Less
That's kind of
than
his standard size in a 3-bet pot, I think.
40%. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, like third.
He has a lot of good turn cards for him. He can barrel any ace. He can barrel any heart, and he can barrel any straight card, pretty much.
Yeah, and
It
there
gives him a
there
straight.
isn't a ton of kings, I don't think, like in either of their flatting ranges. Although I do think that James would limp like ace king and call. But
And that's a perfect card for Bart Hanson
Yeah.
to barrel here. It gives him the flush draw. It's a scare card. Definitely probably going to bet around 1,600, I would say.
yeah, and so like once Andy calls the flop, a king high flop, he has certain hands in his range, right? But those hands aren't the same as what would be in his range when the ace comes on the turn. You know what I'm saying? Ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, all those hands fold the flop, right? So
Oh, my
he
gosh.
doesn't have a lot of aces in his range on the turn.
And Andy calls again.
Wow.
And Andy called again.
Wow. So does Bart? I don't know.
A Bart is at the bottom of his range. So when you're at the bottom of your range, it's good to bluff.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this bluff works often enough if he bets like, let's say like 2,400. I think it works a lot because
Bart-
it looks super strong.
Bart's saying I have ace king here.
How much
Pocket
did
kings.
how much did he bet? Oh, he bet 3,300.
Wow.
Wow.
How good is Andy to like almost sniff this out though?
Yeah, and it's not like he's got any live tells or anything. He's not really looking at Bart. He's looking at Bart's chip stack.
He just knows that Bart was probably planning on making a play sometime.
Yeah, he just feels it. He's just like the live poker player intangible of playing a lot of hours. And he's alpha dog. He just like sniffs out another dog trying to hide. You know what I mean? He just like sniffs it out. He's like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to be the leader of the pack.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I'm already impressed by the fact that he's tanking.
Oh my gosh. He said all in.
Whoa!
He turned his 9 into a bluff.
Oh my lord.
He
Wow.
turned his 9 into a bluff. Boom. Boom. Andy.
Wow.
Andy, okay.
Hand in the night. I
Dude.
don't even know what to say. I'm speechless.
Dude, I said earlier Barry Woods was my hero. I officially got 2 heroes.
I told you he was a beast. I mean,
I never argued
this
with
is like I've seen this guy do this kind of thing before, and it's just like you get in hands with him, you're just like you.
on the bike. They're on Ryan Feldman. So if you guys want, we have a hot dog stand. They're on Andy.
They're on Andy
Good
for
luck
sure.
getting it from
Just
Andy.
Throw a 1K chip at us, and we'll be good. All right, Bart raises with ace king and the hijack, and Brian's in the small blind with king jack suited, and decides to 3-bet again. I mean, this is like maybe the 10th or 12th time he's 3-bet with a Broadway hand from the blinds today. I mean, it's almost insane.
Damn.
It feels like a glitch in a bad poker app or something. You know what I mean? Like every time he has like Broadways in the blinds. You know.
And he's supposed to be one of the toughest players in the 10-20 in Los Angeles.
So is Bart? Bart just calls.
Heads up.
So again, Bart, you know, is kind of protecting
like 6-2, right?
And he's just going to go bombs away here.
700.
Yeah, but I like the flat by Bart. You know, it's keeping. Brian's been 3-betting a lot, so I think everybody at the table probably thinks he's light, at least a decent amount of the time. So he doesn't want to 4-bet and get the guy to fold. Unfortunately, this is a really good flop for Brian.
It's very good flop for Bart as well. He does have a gutter and the backdoor nut flush draw.
Yep.
That is a horrible card for both players, actually. But Brian probably is going to want to keep barreling here. He's still going to want to rep aces, kings, queens, ace, queen.
He's looking over at Bart's stack.
Kind of weird, because I feel like if he had a nutted hand, he may not do that, right?
I mean, I was going to say something to that effect, but
we don't know.
sometimes, you know, players just actually don't know the stack size, you know, and you can level yourself thinking that they're weak, you know what I mean?
Oh, he might be trying to get this for like an all-in by the river, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
But in general, I find that when people ask what your stack size is, they're weak.
Or when they go like this.
Yeah.
They look over your chips.
Yeah, don't do it, kids. If you're out there and you have a weak hand, don't try to act tough and like ask the guy how many chips he has.
And Bart is trying to sniff this out.
I mean, it's such an innocuous flop. It's kind of a dry flop in a 3-bet pot, if you think about it, because he has ace-king, so it makes ace-queen less likely, makes king-queen less likely. So I could see why Bart kind of tanked a little bit there and folded.
Come say what up, man. Of course.
Somebody just asked what time this goes to. We're going to go to, was it 9:30?
9:30.
Yeah, so we get another half hour.
Bart with ace-king raised up to 175. Leor just flats with 8-7 from the cutoff. I like his flat here. Barry on the button with 7-6 of clubs. I could see this as a flat or a 3-bet. Harry with jack-9 of diamonds. Harry's never folding his hand. He's been out of the mix for a while. He has a good hand. He's going to come in.
Both players?
Five deuce deuce.
Check.
Ace king still in the lead.
Check.
And Leor says
Leor's
if Bart
gonna fire at
checks, Bart has something to the tune of a hand he has, an ace high hand. And I can credibly rep pocket 4s, 6s through 9s probably. Takes a stab and it's going to work. And I really like Leor's bet because Leor has a backdoor flush draw and backdoor straight draw.
Yep.
So if Bart does call here, he can barrel a 6, a 4, any diamond, any good scare card. So Leor's smart enough to know that that's a great board for his hand and he's going to go for it.
And he bet, what, 350 into 1,000?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's great bet size. I used to. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
175?
So Bart raises up to 175.
So he's like under the gun +1. Brian flats in the, no? Let's see.
When is this fiasco over with?
So James calls in the button with 10 deuce suited. That's,
Nice set.
you know,
3 people get up and leave.
it's suited. It's Doyle.
It's the Doyle, absolutely. James is not in the mood to fold as well. And he probably feels like he wants to battle Bart. They go back many years. MMJ stands for My Morning Jacket. It's the band that Bo is in. He plays the keys.
Right by Mulholland.
So, Meaning Mike folds to Andy, who has ace-4 spades in middle position. He raises. Bart's got pocket 3s in the somewhere in middle position there. Flats pocket 3s. Leor pocket 7s. Flats in the hijack. Brian's on the button with queen 10 suited, and he also calls. And wow, James calls in the big blind with 5 deuce offsuit. Wow. Oh my lord. So Lior flops quads and Bart flops a full house. This is brutal. Is this
Oh
like
my gosh.
this is like jackpot territory.
Is it safe to say that we have our horn ready?
Wow.
Is it safe to
Oh
say
my.
that the horn is ready? Oh my. Oh my gosh. Lior snap calls too, playing very deceptive. I actually turned my seat around in the booth, guys.
Wow.
Like, I turned my seat.
This is just
Your players?
brutality for Bart.
Oh my gosh, everyone's going crazy in the chat. Welcome to chat.
So 2100 in the pot.
It's gonna all
Bart's-
go in too, Bo.
Bart's trying to think of like his bet sizing, because Lior's range of hands are flush draws, maybe a 7, over pairs, so he doesn't want to bet huge.
Half pot.
Yeah, you can see Bart's really good at that. He's good at keeping as much of his opponent's range in the hand as possible. So he's going to get max value out of his range a lot of the time.
Call.
And Brian's gonna fold now.
Well, Lior is playing
Snap
this
call.
hand perfectly.
Dude, he's
Yeah.
snap calling. So
Yeah.
deceptive.
Yeah, it just looks like he has like, pocket eights.
Yeah.
That's what he makes it look like.
And Lior was the pre-flop raiser, or who was it? No, neither of these guys are pre-flop raiser then, because it doesn't say in our graphic.
No, Andy raised. Yeah. Yep. Wow. So Bart,
Has 2 pot-sized bets here.
I wouldn't be surprised if you tried to rip it because,
Like ace king of hearts here. Ace
yeah.
queen of hearts, ace 10 of hearts. I'll get here. Oh well, actually we can't put him on ace king of hearts because Lior would have 3-bet those.
I mean, Lior could have easily slow played a 7, like a 8-7. Yeah, I mean, this is
17.
Let's see if Lior does any Hollywooding here.
17. So Bart obviously doesn't think Lior is that strong, because he's like kind of going for a bet size that he can call,
And Lior cannot have pocket kings and cannot have pocket jacks here because Lior would 3-bet all those. We've seen him 3-bet 10s from under the gun raise. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can extract all bigger full houses. It's pocket 7s, maybe jack 7 or king 7.
Flush draw like 5, 6 of hearts, 8, 7, 8, 9 of hearts, any sort of like king, queen of hearts, king 10 of hearts. There's a lot of flush draws in his range.
Dude, this chat's going nuts over this hand.
Race.
Oh,
Ooh, I can't.
look at Bart. Bart just knows it right away. Like he knows something's not right.
Oh man, but if I'm Lior, I'm just gonna go for the all-in. I'm gonna go with all-in sizing.
So he has about 4K left. I mean, Bart. Yeah, I mean Bart's thinking like, should I bet? Should I go all in for value?
Yeah, yeah,
Should I
yeah.
flat. You know what I mean? Should I
Dude,
fold?
he's still looking at his stack.
Yeah, he's probably going through all the options right now.
I would think he jams more than he calls here, knowing Bart.
Yeah.
Because kings and jacks just don't make sense. And then king 7 and jack 7, Lior may not even play those pre-flop.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think Bart is definitely thinking he has a flush.
I never could get in that game after, yeah, because there's a fucking.
Call.
Call.
Oh, he just calls.
Quads.
Nice play.
Poor Bart. He's like, ooh. And the only thing positive about this hand is that Bart actually saved some money
Yeah.
because it could have got way worse.
Yeah, and he
Lior
didn't
shoves.
he didn't bet big on the flop return either.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the river.
Wow, what a hand.
17, so
That's a
31.
brutal beat for Bart.
Yep, Libero Check said Lior would never play king 7. I agree with that. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Lior plays king jack or jack 7 when someone raises up front from the hijack. So Bart's shove looks really good there, and he's never going to fold. He only loses to one hand, pocket 7s.
Yeah, hats off to Bart.
Pick one bet.
Because I think Bart knows that if he jams there, he's never getting maybe called by worse. You know?
That's so sick that Bart put him on quads then.
Yeah.
You know that.
Well,
went through his head.
he's thinking like the hands that beat me and the hands that I beat don't really merit me raising here. You know what I mean?
And if Leor did have the nut flush, he'll probably fold to a jam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
it's
3
like
bet
it
on the
just-
river.
What worse is calling him, like a 7?
There's no jackpot. Yeah.
No, he's gonna probably fold a 7 and he's gonna probably fold a flush.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's like Bart made the right play of just